In 1893, his family moved to New York to meet his half-brother Giuseppe Morello, who had emigrated 6 months earlier. Due to lack of work in the New York area, his family only stayed there for about a year. They eventually traveled to Louisiana, where his father planted sugar cane, then moved to Bryan, Texas, where they worked as cotton pickers. After 2 years in Texas, malaria struck the family. They moved back to New York in 1896. Years later, he and his brothers would found the powerful Morello crime family. In 1903, Giuseppe was charged with the Barrel murders but released due to lack of evidence. After the trials ended in June 1903, the Morello crime family continued to deal with police searches and harassment. When Ignazio the Wolf Lupo and his brother Giuseppe were sent to prison on counterfeiting charges, he and his brothers Vincent and Nick filled the power vacuum. They soon rose to be the top gangsters of Italian Harlem, running the Morello family. In 1916, Joe DeMarco, a gambling joint operator, challenged his power and the Morellos. The Morellos then conspired with the Navy Street gang to kill DeMarco and gave the job to Leo Loretano, the Navy Street leader. Loretano in turn passed the job on to Mike Fetto. After the DeMarco murder, the police arrested hitman John Esposito. Esposito then implicated him, who was indicted on the 2 murders. However, the charges against him were soon dropped. The reason was that the testimony against him was given by co-conspirators and accomplices, and under New York law outside corroboration was necessary. 2 weeks after the DeMarco hit, but before his arrest, Esposito was ordered to kill Charles Ubriaco and his half-brother Nicholas, who were discussing peace terms with rival gang members. By 1920, the Morello-Terranova-Lupo rule was being challenged by Joe Masuria, an up-and-coming gangster. Vincent Morello was murdered on East 116th St. A powerful ally of the Morello family, Umberto Rocco Valenti, was killed by Charles Lucky Luciano, then a member of the Masuria family. After Valenti's death, many of his men switched sides to Masuria. Even Peter Morello switched sides and became one of Masuria's most trusted lieutenants, even though the Masuria gang had killed his brother. When the dust settled, he controlled the 116th Street crew in Upper Manhattan and Masuria ruled the Bronx. While the Castellamarese War was going on, Joe Valachi tried to patch up his friendship with him and even befriended his driver. Tommy Gagliano, who later became boss of the Lucchese crime family, then asked Valachi to take his side in the gang war. Valachi's first assignment was to kill his driver. Instead, Valachi killed his nephew, Joseph Catania. At Catania's funeral, he swore revenge. Valachi also claimed to have killed Peter Morello, his half-brother, but Lucky Luciano said that Albert Anastasia and Frank Scalise killed Morello. During the early 1930s, New York Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia led a successful effort to decriminalize the artichoke trade, destroying his power base. By the time of his death, Terranova was reportedly impoverished. On February 18, 1938, he suffered a paralyzing stroke. He died 2 days later at hospital, at age 49, with his son and wife at his side. He was the only one of the 4 brothers to die in bed. Ciro Terranova was an Italian-born American gangster in New York City, and one-time underboss of the Morello crime family. Ciro earned his nickname, the Artichoke King, by purchasing all the artichokes that came into New York and selling them for roughly 3 times as much.